And welcome everyone. A very pleasant good morning here from Gil Cone Field. An early first pitch between the Tornadoes and the Pfeiffer Falcons. A rematch of yesterday, a ball game that saw the Tornadoes come out on top 6-4. A ball game that ended up a lot closer than many anticipated once we got into the ninth inning. But now, a win or take all, a spot in the championship on the line. Pfeiffer already rematched against Methodist, second time they played them yesterday afternoon. They got the victory, and now they take on Brevard for a spot in the USA South Championship game. The winner will travel to Rocky Mount, North Carolina next weekend against North Carolina Wesleyan for the championship. NATO's hoping that it's them. Taking a look at the lineups for both sides. For Pfeiffer, leading off, it's a left fielder number 6, Zach Farrell. After him, it's Wilson Lohr, number 28. After him, Austin Wood, the shortstop. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 55, Ben Barnes. Then the second baseman, number 5, Corey Lackey. After that, it's the third baseman, number 26, Joe Javier. Then the catcher, number 15, Carter Merrill. After Merrill, it's the center fielder, number 16, Thomas Ashby. And then the right fielder, number 10, Robbie Brown. On the mound for Pfeiffer is number 1, Baden Gusa. Gusa does not have a record in 5 appearances, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks for him, an ERA just under 10, a whip of 228. And the starting lineup for the Tornadoes. Leading off once again for the second game in a row, it's the right fielder, number 49, C.P. Pyle. After him, the shortstop, number 3, Luke Morton. Then in the 3 spot, the center fielder, number 15, Logan Clark. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 26, Cale Ayler. After Ayler, it's the third baseman, number 19, Frankie Vasquez. In the DH spot, in the 6th hole in the lineup, is number 25, Colson Miller. Batting 7th, the left fielder, number 1, Lucas Granada. After him, the catcher, number 6, Kenny Pridmore. And rounding out the lineup, the second baseman, number 9, Logan Sawyer. On the mound for the NATOs is number 5, Cameron Cook. Cook, the right-hander, a senior, 3-2 with a 6.85 ERA, or rather 5.54 ERA, and 6 games started. 11 appearances, 32 strikeouts, and 22 walks for him. A whip of 169, and he has seen this Pfeiffer lineup before. Back in Game 1 against the Falcons on the road, he came in relief of an injured Connor Crosby and went 4 innings, 4 runs, while striking out 6. Pfeiffer and Brevard should be a good one. Winner with a spot in the championship, and we will be right back for the start here from Gil Cone Field on a sunny Saturday morning. Excuse me. NATOs and Falcons getting ready to do battle here at Gil Cone Field. Cameron Cook warming up on the mound. Cook, a right-hander with a record of 3-2. 6 games started for him, 11 appearances, and Cook came on really strong down the stretch and showed consistency. The right-hander made a big improvement between his junior year and his senior year. For Cam, 32 strikeouts, 22 walks, an ERA just north of 5.5, sitting at 5.54. And a whip of 169. Again, he did pitch against this Pfeiffer lineup before. 4 innings, 4 runs, 6 strikeouts. Coming in for the injured Connor Crosby. And the first man he will greet today is Zach Farrell. Farrell started off yesterday with a solo home run, which for 8 2/3 innings were the only runs that came across the board for Pfeiffer. Then, obviously, they had the late rally that came up just short. Now Farrell going to try and get them started on the right note once again. Cameron Cook trying to shut him down. First pitch, popped up. Frankie Vasquez on the infield dirt, moves to his left and makes the grab for out number 1. So now Wilson Lohr. Lohr went 3 for 5 yesterday. All 3 base hits were singles. Cook, 1 pitch, 1 out. And he finds the outside corner here against Lohr. So Pfeiffer taking a look at how they got to this spot. Got a victory against Methodist, then lost to the NATOs yesterday morning, and then got another victory against Methodist in their second game yesterday as Lohr pokes at one into left field coming on Granada. He makes the catch for out number 2. So Cameron Cook has induced some soft contact on both of the first 2 hitters, Farrell and Lohr, which is a good sign for things to come as Austin Wood gets ready to step in. Wood went 1 for 3 yesterday, walked a couple of times in 5 plate appearances, also singled. Cook finds the outside corner. 4th pitch for Cameron Cook, trying to make quick work of the top 3 in the Pfeiffer order. 0-1, misses. The 1-1. Sent on the ground. Morton ranges to his left, bobbles it, throw on to first. Is not in time. Ayler tossed the ball over to the mound. Ayler was convinced he was out. He bends over, shocked at the call, and it turns out that bobble is going to cost Luke Morton that half second. Already, the NATO faithful up and at him when it comes to the officiating. So an E6 on Luke Morton will extend the inning. Luke had it secured. I think on the transfer he might have lost it. Now Wood aboard of Ben Barnes at the plate. Cameron Cook's first pitch misses outside to Barnes. Cook. 1-0. Chopped on the ground. Sawyer on an easy hop has to throw quickly to first, but gets it done. An 8-pitch inning for Cameron Cook, even after the error, and the NATOs hold Pfeiffer scoreless in the top of the first. CP Pyle, Luke Morton, and Logan Clark, first 3 to get a crack at it when we return. Bottom of the first. NATOs will be facing off against number 1, Baden Gusa. Gusa, no record for him, only 5 appearances on the year. That is the man who, at least to start the day, the hopes of Pfeiffer will rest on the shoulders of. Gusa, 8 strikeouts, 5 walks, and ERA just under 10. 9.89 ERA for him. Nato's hoping to get the bats going early and often. Yesterday went the first 4 innings without a run and then started to hang them up once we got to the 5th. Put up 2 in the 5th, and then after that, 2 apiece in the 7th and 8th with a scoreless 6 sandwiched in between. So here's CP Pyle to get things going for the Nato offense. Pyle, Morton, and Clark, the 3 due up here in the home half of the first. CP went 1 for 4 yesterday, but did have a really crucial double in the second that led to the Natos having second and third with nobody out in the 5th inning, where they ultimately ended up scoring 2 runs, plating both of those guys as CP takes the ball outside. Wow, flew out, walked, doubled, lined out, and popped out yesterday as he sends one into shallow center field. That one is going to drop. CP Pyle, leadoff single. Finds a spot where they're not. And he's aboard. Leadoff man aboard for the Natos, something that they struggled with a bit yesterday. Trying to get runners early and often. So far here in this tournament, the 2 games the Natos have played still have not been the greatest with extra base hits. Only a couple of them in game 1. 3 of them yesterday. 5 total extra base hits as Morton takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for strike 1. A throw over to first. CP Pyle into the dive. Morty went 1 for 5 yesterday. The 1 base hit he had, he was driven in on the home run by Cale Ayler. Now he sends one on the ground to short. To second for 1. To throw on to first is not going to be picked. Morton's going to reach on a fielder's choice. And there's been a few times we've seen that when it comes to the Pfeiffer infield defense not being able to turn it at first or not being able to convert a throw over at first base to Wilson Lohr. That was Corey Lackey with the errant throw. So 6'4" fielder's choice brings up Logan Clark. First pitch to Logan misses. On deck is Cale Ayler, who obviously had the big 2-run shot in the 7th yesterday afternoon. The 1-0. Clark off the hands, fouled off. A ball and a strike, 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Pitch to Clark. Off the end of the bat, foul again. Clark out in front here against Gusa. The 1-2. In the air, right center field. Morton will get about halfway. There to make the grab is Ashby. For out number 2.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, first baseman number 26, Cale Ayler.
So here's Cale Ayler. CP Pyle got aboard with a leadoff single, and since then, Morton and Clark have both been retired. So we're down to the final out here. Here in the bottom of the first. Luke Morton on first now after the fielder's choice. Ayler takes ball 1. The 1-0 misses 2-0. Two balls and no strikes here to the power hitting NATO first baseman. 3-0 now. NATO's trying to extend the inning here. Have not seen a whole lot of innings so far this tournament with multiple runners on for the Tornadoes, but a chance here with a 3-0 count. And yes, a 4-pitch walk for Cale Ayler puts him aboard for Frankie Vasquez. Frankie yesterday went 1 for 3, had an infield single. After that, a strikeout, a sacrifice fly, and a fly out. Now with 2 away, he's got an RBI opportunity. Luke Morton in scoring position over at second. Kale Ayler standing at first. Frankie sends one foul down the right side to start off the sequence. Both teams fighting for a spot in the championship round in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Scoreless so far on the bottom of the first. The 0-1. Breaking ball launched, but foul. Frankie out ahead of that one. Now he's behind 0-2. Morton was certainly going to score if that one dropped. Runners will be going on any contact here with 2 away. Now the 0-2. He's going to hit Vasquez. A hit by pitch. He gives a look and a word over to the dugout. He's excited as the bases are loaded up now for Colson Miller.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, the DH number 25, Colson Miller.
Miller went 0 for 2 yesterday. A couple of strikeouts, one swinging, one looking, and then a hit by pitch and a walk. In the ballgame before, 1 for 4 against Methodist. So in total, 1 for 6 is Miller here in the USA South tournament. And obviously, even in one of these little skids for Miller, the power is certainly there, and Gusa has to be careful as that one's in the dirt for ball 1. One thing for Pfeiffer, obviously, their pitchers have not been the most control-oriented over the 3 tournament games leading into this one. That one's in the dirt too, 2-0. Obviously, between the 2 teams, Methodist and Pfeiffer, we had 12 hit by pitches in that first game of the USA South tournament. 3 more against the NATOs yesterday for the Falcons. The 2-0. In the dirt, 3-0. Gusa has fallen well behind Colson Miller here. Already got some movement in that Pfeiffer pen. 3-0 to Miller. Is going to hit him. Back-to-back hit by pitches, and that's going to plate a run. The NATOs have the first lead of this one. Luke Morton coming across. The bases loaded hit by pitch brings up Lucas Granada with the NATOs leading 1-0 here.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, left fielder
You do got to wonder
Lucas.
how long is Gusa going to last, especially now that we see guys up in the pen moving around. And with back-to-back hit by pitches, following a walk at that, Gusa had 2 away with a runner on first. Since then, has plated a run to the bases loaded hit by pitch as he finds the inside corner there. A single by CP Pyle, then Morton and Clark were retired after that. An Ayler walk and 2 hit by pitches. 0-1. Breaking ball, chopped foul. Oh, wow, look at the athleticism there. Jog Pleasure coming and giving a high five to Coach Huckey, who wishes he could do that. I hope he goes back and listens to this one. Granada behind 0-2. The pitch from Gusa. In the air, left center field. Going back on it, Ashby and Farrell. And Farrell will make the grab in fairly deep left field. The NATOs do get a run across on the Colson Miller hit by pitch. They lead it 1-0 as we head to the top of the second. Back here at Gil Cone Field in a moment. Top of the second. Here's Corey Lackey. It'll be him, Joe Javier, and Carter Merrill here in the second inning, with the NATOs now holding a 1-0 lead. Cameron Cook ready to work again. And he misses on his first pitch of the second. The 1-0. Sent on the ground. High chopper. Vasquez comes in on it, throws on to first. Ayler's pulled off the bag, but he's able to apply the tag. Kale has had to do some cardio over there at first base on some of these throws the last couple of days, but really has not come back to bite the NATOs. There's out number 1. Here's Joe Javier, who was not retired in yesterday's ball game. 3 for 3. 3 singles, a hit by pitch, and a walk. He takes a strike. No balls and a strike. Pitch from Cook. Misses high. So from what I've heard from the Tornadoes is that Cameron Cook will be obviously the starter in this one, will go as long as he can, and then likely that the Tornadoes have Blake Altshuler coming out of the pen at whatever point Cook is relieved. This one's tapped over to Ayler, who's going to take it to the bag himself. Him and Cook kind of got caught up together on the light tapper. Kale decided I'll do the work myself, and it's a 3 unassisted for out number 2 here in the second.
Now batting the catcher number 15, Carter Merrill.
Here's Carter Merrill, the catcher. Yesterday, Merrill was 1 for 5, running into a couple fielders' choices, a double play. He also flew out and then had an infield single where no one could cover first. Hit that one on the ground to the right side. Now he comes up with the bases empty and 2 away. That one just misses for Cameron Cook. Pitch number 14 only with 2 away in the second. (1-0) fouled off. Cook looking good so far through the first 6 batters that he's faced. The 1-1. Breaking ball sent over the head of Logan Sawyer for a 2-out base hit. This one's going to roll past Logan Clark. Merrill on his horse. He gets into second. He'll stay there standing up. 2-out double for Carter Merrill. And for the second time in 2 innings, Cameron Cook has recorded a quick 2 outs and then allowed a base runner. The last one in the first inning was not his fault off of the E6 from Luke Morton. Regardless, so 2 innings in a row that Pfeiffer has had a man reach with 2 away. Last time, Cook retired Ben Barnes on a 4-3 putout to end the first. Looking for a similar fate here. Pfeiffer trying to tie this one up early on as Thomas Ashby takes a strike. Maryland scoring position in a 1-0 ball game. Each team with a hit apiece now. The 0-1 misses upstairs there. The 1-1 misses outside. That one tailed away. Two balls and a strike here. A hitter's count for the center fielder of the Falcons. Cook delivers and misses inside. 3 balls and a strike here. Robbie Brown looming on deck. Pfeiffer in their pinstripe uniforms here today. Cook behind 3-1. He delivers. That one sent back towards us. Full count with 2 away now. Cook with pitch number 22. Coming here in just a moment. He takes a look back at Merrill at second. Now the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Cook with a big strikeout. Pfeiffer scoreless for the second inning. NATO's holding a 1-0 lead when we return. Pridmore, Sawyer, and Pyle here from Gilcone Field. 1-0 Tornadoes. Bottom of the second, Kenny Pridmore to get things led off.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, catcher number 6,
NATO's
Kenny.
holding a 1-0 lead. It's 8-9-1 here in the second against Baden Gusso's back out there. We did see some movement in that Pfeiffer bullpen as he started to struggle, and Kenny greets him on the first pitch with a smacked single through the 6-hole. Leadoff man aboard for the NATO's for the second inning in a row.
Baseman number 9, Logan Sawyer.
And here's Logan Sawyer. Sawyer scored what ultimately was a pretty decisive run. He was the 6th run that the Tornadoes plated, and it was on an error on a Luke Morton grounder to short. Sawyer was 1 for 2, got hit by 2 pitches yesterday. First pitch, Sawyer shows bunt, and that one's foul. The catcher, Merrill, wanted it. He was going to grab it and try to go down to second, I think, with a bit slower runner, Kenny Pridmore, heading down there. Merrill was pretty animated there, saying he wanted that to be a fair ball. And now some sort of appeal or look over to the Pfeiffer dugout. Obviously, we have no sort of instant replay, so I'm not sure what they think could change, but at least a debate is being had, and now the umpires are going to gather together, but there's no way that you can say, oh, just kidding, that was a fair ball. He was going to be out at second. If they're going to say Sawyer made contact with the bunt heading out of the box, that would be a batter's interference. Would be out number 1, and Sawyer sitting there having a conversation with Merrill. The umpires do not deem that. They say that he's all good to go. That's simply a strike. The Tornadoes have had some bunt fiascos the last couple of days. Not necessarily the smoothest bunting team in the USA South. The 0-1, showing it again. He does get this one down. Gusa comes off the hill to get it, throws on the first, just in time to get Sawyer, but it moves up Kenny Pridmore to scoring position with 1 away. CP Pyle now back in. Pyle singled to lead things off in the first. Now back up for his second try against Baden Gusa, trying to plate run number 2 for the Tornadoes. First pitch in the dirt. The catcher Merrill loses it for a moment, but doesn't get far enough away from him for Logan Sawyer, or rather Kenny Pridmore, to try third. The 1-0. Breaking ball, misses. Two balls and no strikes to the NATO right fielder, with one away and a runner on second. This one gets his own 2-1. Hitters count here to pile. 1-0 NATO lead here in the home half of the second. That one is whacked in the air to left field. Going back on it, Farrell. He makes the grab. Sawyer will think about the tag, but won't do it. Sharply hit out number 2 there. Pyle stroked that one. But right to Farrell out there in front of the movement bank sign in left field. There's out number 2. It'll be up to Luke Morton to drive in this run if the NATOs are going to. Morty grounded into a fielder's choice his first time, hit the ball hard. But it was right to the shortstop, Austin Wood. First pitch fouled off by Morty. No balls and a strike. Gusa takes a look in, shakes off his catcher Merrill. Now comes set and steps off. A disengagement there by Gusa. That one a breaking ball that nearly gets the head of Luke Morton. Morton and an even count here, 1-1. Kenny Pridmore still standing over there on second after the leadoff single. And then the sacrifice bunt from Sawyer that moved him over. Strike on the outside corner here to Morton. He gives a slight head shake. Now he's got a battle behind 1 and 2. If Morty reaches, Logan Clark's behind him. The 1-2. Morty sends it on the ground past Javier. Sawyer had to hold up. Huckey is going to keep him at third. It's a 2-out single, and the NATOs will have runners on the corners with 2 away. Javier nearly had that one on a nice play. Couldn't quite get it. And so Morton with a single. Morty has recorded a hit now in all 3 games in the tournament. Not an RBI, though. NATOs have runners on the corners with 2 away. Pridmore on third, Morton on first. First pitch to Logan Clark is fouled off. Gusa gets a new baseball. A new Pfeiffer pitcher is up in the bullpen. More on that in a moment as Clark takes the ball. 1-1. Looks like Sam Odom, the man in the pen for Pfeiffer. That one sent in the air by Clark. Underneath it, Ashby. He gloves it for out number 3. The NATOs strand a pair. They lead it 1-0 as we head to the top of the third. It'll be 9-1 and 2 for Pfeiffer when we get back. Top of the third, it'll be Robbie Brown for Pfeiffer. Brown was 1 for 3 in yesterday afternoon's Tornadoes versus Falcons contest. He walked and singled. It'll be Brown. Then the lineup will turn back over to Farrell and Lohr here in the third. Big wave and a miss there from Brown to start the AB. Out in front of that Cameron Cook pitch. Right-hander Cook comes home with the 0-1. Misses. Low and away there. Ball and a strike. Cook that time sees the pitch fouled off down the right side. Brown thought he might have had a double inside the line, hugging that first base chalk, but not to be. 1-2 here, Cook ahead. A ball and 2 strikes. Now Cook gets him swinging. Brown frustrated. Second straight strikeout for Cameron Cook. And 1 away for Zach Farrell.
Now batting left fielder number 6, Zach Farrell.
Farrell popped out on the first pitch of this game. Over to Frankie Vasquez. Cameron Cook's first pitch to him. Misses. That one's off the mark outside. Couple of Ks early on here for Cameron Cook as the Nados lead at 1-0. Top of the third. Good pitch there. Check swing from Farrell. It's in there on the outside corner. Ball and a strike. Pitch from Cook. Misses outside. Two balls and a strike, rather, sorry. Hitters count for Farrell. Lohr on deck. He flew out. The 2-1. Misses outside again. Cook has been trying to get that outside corner here to Farrell and can't quite find it. Three balls and a strike. Pitch from Cook. Popped up again. Vasquez and Morton both retreating. Frankie will get underneath it and make the grab for out number 2. In foul territory, Vasquez makes the catch. Farrell was ahead there. Couldn't do anything, though. Here's Wilson Lohr. He flew out to left his first time. Cook, the first time through the order, only allowed the 1 hit. That one sent in the air to left center field. It's going to drop. Granada comes up to get it, so it's a 2-out single. There's base hit number 2 for Pfeiffer. A double from Carter Merrill, and then that single from Lohr right there. Still 2 away, though, as Austin Wood steps in. He reached on a Luke Morton error back in the first inning. Nado's leading at 1-0. Pitch from Cook. On the inside corner, strike 1. Right-hander sets to the belt and fires. Off the hands, over to Sawyer on the ground. Throw on to first. Is it going to be in time, but off the mark? Cale Ayler has to come off the bag to get it. And as a result, Austin Wood has reached for the second time on an error. Sawyer comes over to give the ball back to Cook and give his sincerest apologies. An E4 there on Logan Sawyer. Now 2 men on with 2 away for the Falcons. Ben Barnes at the plate, a big power threat. 9 home runs for him in the regular season as he takes strike 1. That ground ball should have spelled the end of the inning for the Falcons. Now Cameron Cook's going to have to work for an extra out. He's got Wilson Laurer over there thinking as Luke Morgan claps the glove behind him. Barnes fouls one off. It's kind of funny. You saw Barnes take his lead. Morton got right behind him and just gave the glove a slap and flinched. He got Laurer to flinch back towards the bag too. No balls and 2 strikes here to Barnes. Cook trying to put him away. He fires. Swing and a miss. Barnes set down on strikes. Kenny Pridmore loves it. The error does not bite the Tornadoes. They lead at 1-0 as we head to the home half of the third here at Gilcone Field. 1-0 Nados. Home half of the third, Cale Ayler due up here. Cleanup man for the Nados walked his first time up. Yesterday had a really crucial, what some could call the difference, 2-run homer in the 7th. A game that the Nados ended up winning 6-4, so you do the math there. Gusa back out for his 3rd inning, and Ayler takes strike 1 in the outside corner. Gusa has allowed a run on 3 hits. Ayler waving a miss in there on the outside pitch from him. The 1-1 sent up the middle in the air, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Cut off in center field by Ashby. A leadoff single from Cale Ayler. 3rd straight inning that the Nados have started things off with a single. A very good sign when you consider the state that their offense was in up until the 5th inning yesterday. Through the first 13 innings of this tournament, the Tornadoes really couldn't get much going at all with their leadoff man now 3 for 3 in this one so far in terms of getting the leadoff man aboard. In this case, it's Ayler over at first after the single. Here's Frankie Vasquez, who takes low and outside. Frankie was hit by a pitch in a 2-strike count back in the first. That loaded the bases, and then Colson Miller behind him was hit. Frankie chops one past the Nato dugout foul. Suave, as Frankie is affectionately referred to by his teammates. He sends this one through the left side. Back-to-back singles. Nados have something cooking up here in the 3rd. It'll be Colson Miller, who once again was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. One nothing Tornadoes, home half of the 3rd. Colson Miller at the dish. Ayler over on second. Now Gusa steps off. Gusa obviously once again only 5 appearances on the year. A pretty tall task asked for him, especially against this lineup in a win-or-take-all game. Miller lays a bunt down. Laurer only has one play, and it's to tag Colson out, but Ayler and Vasquez both move up 90 feet and both stand in scoring position with one away. Sacrifice bunt for Colson Miller, and it brings up Lucas Granada with one away and two in scoring position. A base hit for Lucas could make it 3-0 Natos. Gusa trying to lock in. Granada at the plate with Kenny Pridmore on deck. Granada in the air, deep left field, going back on it at the wall. It's gone! Lucas Granada with a 4-bagger of the 3-run variety, and it's 4-0 Tornadoes. Lucas Granada was hitless so far in the series. 0 for 7 to be exact, and similar to the way Cale Ayler busted out of his slide yesterday, Lucas Granada does here with a bomb to left field. You see Mike Victory with the sly grin over there. He likes what just happened, as does all of NATO Nation. It's 4-0. Granada with a 3-run tank. That was trouble all the way. Granada got a good piece of it. Farrell was backing up towards the wall and quickly realized that he was running out of real estate, as all he could do was watch it fly into the NATO pen. Still got Sam Odom warming up in that Pfeiffer pen, and that will be who we see come in here. Odom going to relieve Baden Gusa after 2 1/3. He gives up the 3-run homer to Granada, and that will be the lasting impression for him in this one. 4-0 Tornadoes. We'll be back here in just a moment to introduce the new pitcher. New pitcher in for Pfeiffer. It's going to be Sam Odom. Right-hander Odom. Just giving you a little bit of a profile on him. He's 4-2 on the year, 17 appearances. One of those a start. The other 16 all out of the pen. 20 strikeouts to 16 walks for him. An ERA just over 8. Pfeiffer trailing at 4-0 after the Granada home run. And Odom's first pitch is inside to Kenny Pridmore, who singled his first time up. The 1-0. Misses. No, in there. Pridmore. A question for the umpire after that one. He just wanted to check where that hit. The 1-1. Misses low and out. The winner in this ball game with a spot in the USA South Championship round. Brevard takes low and out, 3-1. Three balls and a strike here to the NATO backstop. And he sends this one on the ground. Javier makes a nice play ranging to his left. His throw on the first is in time. Laurer is able to stay on the bag. So Pridmore retired.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, second baseman number 9, Logan Sawyer.
So final line for Baden Gusa. 2 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 1 strikeout, no walks. That's Odom trying to get the third out here in the third, but he will not right here. Logan Sawyer slaps a single into center. A 2-out single for Sawyer.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, right fielder
That'll bring up CP Pyle. Pyle singled and lined out. The line out was a sharp one to left field where he got a good piece of it, but just right at Zach Farrell out there. 2 away, Logan Sawyer over on first. CP with his third at bat, and he takes strike 1 in the outside corner. NATOs have put 3 on the board here in the third off of the Lucas Granada big fly. The 0-1. High and tight, 1-1. Ball and a strike. Pitch from Odom. Misses outside. Two balls and a strike. A hitter's count here to CP Pyle. That one clips the outside corner for strike 2. Odom 6'5" out of Lexington, North Carolina. Trying to finish off the Tornado third where there's already been damage inflicted. Pyle sends one foul. Oh, there's Coach Huckey with the quick hands. A Huckey web gem once again. Guy's a dude. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away. Here in the bottom of the third. Runner goes. That one misses outside. Sawyer takes second without a contest. Now with a full count, if CP Pyle can get a base knock, he can make it 5-0. The count is full with Luke Morton on deck, who singled his last time up. Odom. A payoff pitch. No, he'll wheel around to second instead. Raised the leg up. Looked like he was going to fire to home and decided he wanted to keep Logan Sawyer in check over at second. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Odom fires home. Low and outside. CP Pyle with a 2-out walk, and the NATOs have 2 aboard. 8th tornado of the inning coming to the plate here in the form of Luke Morton.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, shortstop number 3, Luke Morton.
Morty singled in the second. Here in the third inning, he's already got his 3rd try at the plate. NATOs have hit early and often, which is a breath of fresh air compared to the starts the last couple of days. As Morton takes a strike on the outside corner. NATOs actually did get off to a 2-run start in Game 1 against Methodist, but after that, pretty much nothing the rest of the way. Following that first inning. Morton behind 0-1, the pitch from Odom. Slapped past Coach Vinny Carone over there at first. He gets out of the way. It's 0-2. Logan Sawyer on second, CP Pyle on first. 2 strikes, though, here to Morton with 2 away. Odom trying to get out of this third without any more damage caused. Lucas Granada had the 3-run shot. Now the 0-2. Morton takes right down the middle on a breaking ball. That one dropped in there. Morton was not looking for it, and that will do it in the bottom of the third. Lucas Granada deposits a 3-run shot into the NATO bullpen, and it's 4-0 Brevard as we head to the top of the fourth. Top of the fourth here at Gilcone Field. A 4-0 lead has been opened up by the Tornadoes after the Lucas Granada home run. Cameron Cook back out there. So far, just 2 hits allowed, nothing on the scoreboard. It's Corey Lackey who takes the ball. Late strike call, actually. 0-1. Lackey grounded out to third his first time. Vasquez came in and fielded a high chopper off his bat as he sends one in the air to left field. Going back on it, Granada at the track, at the wall. He'll have room. Just in front of the wall, Lucas Granada makes a nice grab for out number 1. Lackey got a good piece of it, but not good enough. That'll bring up Joe Javier.
Now batting third baseman number 26, Joe Javier.
First pitch in there for a strike. The 0-1. Misses. No. Gets the outside corner. Pardon me for the being incorrect on half of these calls. It's a pretty late strike call these last few. Throwing me off. Cook ahead 0-2 here on Joe Javier. This one lightly tapped over to Vasquez, and he makes the catch. Soft liner. And that retires Joe Javier for out number 2. Vasquez climbed the ladder a bit there to get that one.
Now batting catcher number 15, Carter.
Now here's Carter Merrill. Merrill doubled back in the second. 2 outs. That one misses. Ball and no strikes. A pitch from Cook. Misses 2-0. No, that one. Another strike. Bear with me. I'm missing these late calls. That one does miss though. 2-1. Gonna get fired mid-game for not knowing whether or not it's a strike or a ball. 2-1 from Cook. Swing and a miss. Merrill went after a breaking ball there and couldn't get any piece of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on for Pfeiffer here in the top of the fourth. Cook comes home. Swing and a miss. Got him swinging on that one. Cam Cook is through 4 shutout innings, and the NATOs lead at 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth here at Gilcone Field. Bottom of the fourth, Logan Clark stepping into the box. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts to center. Hoping to change his luck here in his third AB in the fourth inning. Nado's leading it 4-0. 4-0 here in inning number 4. As Clark slaps one into right field, but right to Robbie Brown, who nearly came in too far, but he was able to reach back and grab it with his glove. Clark retired for the third time in this one. Here's Cale Ayler. Cale has reached base both times, and really it seems like he's gotten back to normal Cale Ayler mode since that home run. A walk and a single for him so far today. This one he takes for strike one. Odom, the 0-1. Cale slaps it up the middle for a base hit. Second knock of the game for Ayler. Third time reaching base, and now here's Frankie Vasquez, who's reached a couple of times himself. Frankie was hit by a pitch to load the bases in the first and then singled last inning in the third. Ayler and Vasquez singled back-to-back. After that, it was a Colson Miller sac bunt. And once Miller got them in scoring position, Lucas Granada did the job and more, hitting a 3-run homer to left. Ayler on first with one away. First pitch from Odom. Gets the outside corner, strike one. The 0-1. Vasquez pops it up. Lohr comes in on it, and he makes the grab. Vasquez spikes his bat. He's frustrated. A foul out for Vasquez, and now it'll be up to Colson Miller with a runner on first and 2 away.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, DH number 25, Colson Miller.
Miller to the dish. He was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded in the first. That gave the Natives their first run. The other 3 coming off of that Granada blast. With 2 outs, the first pitch to Miller gets to the backstop. Ayler's going to get to second, and now Colson Miller working to the man in scoring position. Wild pitch there for Odom. 1-0 to Colson Miller, who's trying to drive in another NATO run. The 1-0. Gets the outside corner, strike one. And, you know, a blessing and a curse if the NATOs are able to win this ball game. They'll travel to Rocky Mount next weekend to take on North Carolina Wesleyan in the championship if this stands. But the seniors will miss commencement of their own little ceremony type deal, I'm sure. Colson Miller takes strike 2 on the outside corner. That's what happened last year. The NATOs missed graduation due to the USA South tournament and had their own little thing in the Porter Center after they got back. Colson Miller behind 1-2 here. Odom sets to the belt. The pitch. Fouled off. Really got a feel for number 22, Mr. Jock Pledger. He was talking just a couple weeks ago to me about how he's excited to be able to be at graduation this year, the 5th-year grad student. He missed it last year. Oh, I'll get to be at graduation this year. Well, if this stands, no, you won't. 1-2. Miller swings through it, and that's going to do it for the bottom of the fourth. NATOs trailing at 4-0 as we head to inning number 5 here at Gilcone Field on a Saturday morning. top of the 5th. Here's Thomas Ashby, the 8-hole hitter for the Falcons. He struck out swinging his first time. 4 strikeouts so far for Cameron Cook as he continues his good work. That one misses, 1-0. Ashby, Brown, and Farrell, the 3 up here in the 5th for Pfeiffer, who's yet to get much going on offense. No runs on 2 hits against the right-handed senior. Cook gets a strike there, 1-1. Four nothing ball game, the 1-1. Fouled off. A ball and 2 strikes here. And that one's ripped. Oh! Somebody nearly had to make a catch over there on the hill. I think that they might have avoided it. At least up there, nobody's hurt. Do see that for certain. That was roped, but way out ahead of it was Thomas Ashby. Now another 1-2. Just misses on the inside corner. Good thought there from Cook. Trying to dice up Ashby for the second time. The 2-2. Popped back foul. Ashby staying alive here. Pfeiffer needing to find some offense here in fairly short order. Top of the 5th, trailing 4-0. The problem for them is they really haven't even had a lot of traffic, only the 2 base hits. Swing and a miss. Ashby set down on strikes for the second time. That's strikeout number 5 for Cook. All of the swinging variety. It'll bring up Robbie Brown, who was one of those.
Now batting right fielder number 10, Robbie Brown.
5 strikeouts for Cameron Cook, who continues to hum along here. 54 pitches as Brown digs in. First pitch gets the outside corner for strike 1. As a matter of fact, in 5 ABs from the bottom 3 in the order, Cook has 4 strikeouts. Brown takes strike 2. 5 ABs between Merrill, Ashby, and Brown so far. 4 strikeouts. The one that was not was a double from Carter Merrill in the second. That one misses. Ball and 2 strikes. Cook still ahead here. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Brown set down on strikes for the second time. Back-to-back Ks for Cameron Cook. As a matter of fact, dating back to the 4th inning, 3 straight strikeouts for the right-hander. That's 6 Ks for him.
Now batting left fielder number 6, Jack Fairley.
When Cook pitched at Pfeiffer back on March 23rd in relief of Connor Crosby, he came in, went 4 innings, 4 runs, and struck out 6. He struck out 6 here again today. Only thing is he's still working as Farrell fouls it off down the right side, and he's yet to give up a run. Farrell from the left-handed batter's box, 0 for 2. He's popped out a couple of times. Takes a ball there. And the improvement from Cook that we've seen cannot be overstated between last season and this. 1-1. Misses. 2-1. This is a guy that we saw in mop-up duty last year in non-conference games against teams that came here on their spring break from New York and Massachusetts, and now plays a pivotal role in the pitching staff and the rotation, and has been key for the NATOs down the stretch. Farrell lifts one to center field. That one's going to fall for a base hit. Clark runs to his right to cut it off. Heading for second is Farrell. The throw is not in time. Farrell hustles out of the box and gets a 2-out double. But back to Cook, though. Cameron just can't can't state enough. The sophomore year performance by him was really good. We saw a few flashes of brilliance. We knew the stuff had at least the potential to be there with games like he had at home against Maryville and a few others. But last year got beat around a little bit, to just put it bluntly, and worked on what he needed to as he gets Lorer to swing and miss there. Lorer 1 for 2, singled back in the third. Worked on what he needed to, and now has been pitching really well. No balls and a strike. Pitch to Lorer is poked at through the right side past Sawyer. Coming up pile, Farrell will round third, and he will score. The throw off the line as Pridmore drops to a knee to knock that one down to the backhand. So a run comes across. Pfeiffer's on the board. It's 4-1 after the 2-out RBI single. Lorer drives a man in. It's a 3-run lead for the NATOs now, and Cameron Cook has his first blemish of the morning. Here's Austin Wood. Wood has reached on an error both times. Lorer over on first with 2 away. The pitch from the right-hander Cook misses inside. Cook, the 1-0. Misses 2-0. In there for a strike. Hitters count here to Austin Wood. 2 balls and a strike. Cameron Cook trying to get this third out in the 5th. That one misses way inside, 3-1. 67 pitches for Cameron Cook. It's a pinch hitter on deck. It's Jawan Yun. 3-1. In the air, left field. Granada moves to his right and squeezes it for out number 3. Pfeiffer gets a run across but does strand a man. They trail it 4-1 as we head to the home half of the 5th. Cameron Cook continues to deal. Granada, Pridmore, and Sawyer when we get back. Home half of the 5th. Here is the difference maker right now in a 4-1 ball game. Lucas Granada sent a 3-run shot into left field. As a matter of fact, that was his first base hit of the USA South tournament. He was 0 for 7, now 1 for 8. But that one was big, a 3-run blast. As Sam Odom back to work, and he induces a swing and a miss on the first pitch to Lucas. Granada, Pridmore, and Sawyer, bottom 3 in the order, due up here in the home half of the 5th. Working quick here, Odom, and he misses. 4-1 ball game. NATO's with the lead, about halfway home in terms of trying to make it to the USA South Championship game as Granada takes strike 2. Tornadoes trying to navigate this middle third of the ball game as Granada takes low and out. Tornadoes obviously want some insurance here as this game rolls along. Granada in the air, right field. Brown comes on and makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Kenny Pridmore. Kenny 1 for 2. He is singled and grounded out to third. That Black Betty walk-up music of Pridmore's pretty unmistakable. Pitch by Odom is a breaking ball that cuts the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Thad Lewis warming up for Pfeiffer. Pridmore takes strike 2, tailing outside, but it caught the corner on the other side. Lewis pitched in game 1 for Pfeiffer against Methodist. That one set to the right side. Second single of the afternoon for Kenny Pridmore. He continues to hit. And brings up Logan Sawyer. Pridmore had a single in game 1 against Methodist. He went 1 for 2, also had a sacrifice fly. 2 for 3 here in this one, so some pretty productive ABs in the 2 games we've seen from Pridmore. And then in the 1 game Pridmore was not in, we saw the backstop Hayden Jennings send a home run into left. So some good production from the catcher's position offensively and defensively by the Tornadoes here these past few games. 1 away. Pridmore on first. Odom comes home here to Logan Sawyer, who takes the ball. Sawyer had a sacrifice bunt back in the second and then singled in the third. Another throw over to first. Pridmore getting a little bit tight over there. Another throw over to first. Pridmore, some pretty close plays at the bag. Odom keeping a close watch on a guy that typically is not a big base stealer. He doesn't like the lead he has. Now he comes home. Showing bunt. Sawyer lays it down. Coming up the hill, Odom couldn't get it, and Sawyer's going to beat it out. Pridmore nearly strayed too far off the second base bag, but he's going to be all good. Odom moved to his right to try and field that bunt, kind of slipped a little bit, and that ended up being a very costly maneuver. An infield bunt single for Logan Sawyer. That was already the 10th base hit for Brevard, albeit a cheap one, some might say. Bunt singles, though, produce the same result as 300-foot singles. Pyle takes a strike on the low outside part of the zone. CP 1 for 2. He has singled and walked, been on base a couple of times, and he has 2 aboard with 1 out. Odom steps off. See if he continues to monitor Kenny Pridmore closely over there at second. The 0-1. Pyle takes a ball in nearly the exact same spot that strike 1 was in. Pyle trying to keep the line moving here. Takes a strike. Odom clearly has a spot he's trying to hit right now. 3 straight low and away deliveries from him. Trying to force Pyle to go the other way. Does have a really big hole on the right side between second and first, part of which may be due to Lackey covering the bag. See how far he retreats to his left upon the pitch. Not at all, as Pyle sends one over towards Coach Victory and the gang. Pyle at the dish with Luke Morton on deck, who's 1 for 3. Every Tornado in the lineup has a hit, minus Logan Clark and Colson Miller. CP takes the ball 2-2. 7 of the 9 Tornadoes with a knock thus far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The righty Odom trying to take care of CP Pyle with 1 away and 2 on the base paths. 2-2 offering. Pyle takes the ball outside. Odom continues to go to the well on that outside pitch. Count runs full. Now payoff pitch. It's going to hit him. How about another hit by pitch by Pfeiffer pitching? Pfeiffer and Methodist combined for 12 hit by pitches in the first contest they played. There was 3 hit by pitches of Tornado batters yesterday afternoon, and now already the third here today. Bases are loaded afterwards. We'll see if Thad Lewis comes in here or if this is just a talk with Odom. The bases are loaded with 1 away. This could just be a talk. Bases are full for the Tornadoes. Kenny Pridmore over at third. Logan Sawyer at second. CP Pyle at first. They're going to keep Odom in here, at least for another hitter or 2. Another man headed out of the bullpen to warm up for Pfeiffer. Looks like number 40, Joey Kukin, a junior righty out of Tucker, Georgia. Here's Luke Morton, nowhere to put him after the hit by pitch of CP Pyle. Morty's 1 for 3, struck out looking his last time in the third. 1 away, Odom's going to have to work. Morton, a big wave and a miss on the first offering. If Morty can't get it done, Logan Clark is on deck. No reason to believe that Morton can't, though. He has a base hit every game this series, or this tournament, rather. Takes ball 1. Luke just had the 1 knock yesterday, but proved to be a pretty pivotal one as Cale Ayler drove him home on a long ball shortly after. 6-4 eventual win for the Nados. Morty takes strike 2 on the outside corner. Quickly asks where that was. 1 away. A ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2. Morty pokes out at it. That one's going to drop into the right field grass. Pridmore will score. The Nados go station to station. It's 5-1 as Sawyer holds up at third, and a bloop single gets the job done for Luke Morton. He's got his first multi-hit game of the tournament. It came at a great time with the bases loaded. It's 5-1 for Logan Clark. Clark, one of 2 Nados without a hit so far in this one. He's flied out 3 times. One away. Clark takes strike 1 to get things going. Another new arm is up for Pfeiffer, as that one is stopped by Carter Merrill. A nice backhanded pick there to save a run. 24 is Chris Loretto. That's the man warming up right now in the Pfeiffer pen out of Port St. Lucie, Florida. 5'11", 185 senior right-hander. 1-1. Misses high and tight. Sawyer over on third, 90 feet away. Behind him, CP Pyle and Luke Morton after the bloop RBI single.
Second arm up to 30.
2-1. Clark thinks about it, does not. He holds off, and it's a ball. Chance Hunt also up in the bullpen for Pfeiffer. We've seen a lot of movement over in that area. Right now, 2 righties up. The righty on the mound trying not to walk Clark. And he gets a generous strike call there. That one was in on Clark's hands. And now a payoff pitch from Odom. On the ground to short. To second for 1. On to first in time. Clark grounds into a double play to kill the rally. Clark should have had a walk. Instead, it was deemed a strike, and the next pitch grounds into a twin killing. The Natos do push another run across, though. It's 5-1 as we head to the 6th here at Gilcone Field. Here's Ben Barnes in the 6th inning. Or no, a pinch hitter actually coming in for Barnes. It is number 35, Jawan Yun. First pitch to him misses 1-0. Cook in his 6th inning of work misses low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. .71 pitches for Cameron Cook as that one is chopped over to Vasquez. Frankie's throw across the diamond is not going to get Yun. It was a throw off the line. Ayler got the tag down on him, it looked like. It's deemed an error. Now, Coach Victory at least wants some kind of explanation. It looked like Frankie's throw was a bit short of where it was supposed to be, but Cale Ayler did get the tag on him in time. Coach Victory not happy with that call at all. Victory is not retiring back to his post, at least quickly. The 3 umpires confer together, and I would not be surprised if one of them tells him he messed that one up. Yun, credit to him, did hustle out of the box on that ground ball. It was a tough throw for Frankie Vasquez. They're going to talk things over. They're going to call him safe. Coach Victory still not happy with that. He's pretty fired up. He'll go back over to the dugout with his hands up in the air. And to be fair to the umpires, I think Coach Victory's frustration might be directed at the wrong umpire. He was kind of giving an earful to the home plate guy. It was not the one who made that call. That guy ran away. Nobody out here. Yun on first. Here's Corey Lackey. Sends one in the air immediately to right field. Easy play for CP Pyle. That's out number 1.
Now batting third baseman number 26, Joe Javier.
It'll bring up Joe Javier. Javier was not retired in yesterday's game between the NATOs and Falcons, but finds himself 0 for 2 in this one. Grounded out to Cale Ayler and lined out to Frankie. 72 pitches for Cameron Cook, who throws over to first. It gets past Ayler. Yun's going to get into second. Ayler chasing it down. He's going to round third. Ayler's throw is going to get him. No, he's not able to apply the tag. Ayler caught Yun rounding second, heading towards third. He threw a missile over to Logan Sawyer, who just missed with a tag, and the NATOs are making Juwan Yun sweat for his life out there on the base pass. He's avoided a couple of tags as narrowly as you can. Still one away after the errant pickoff throw. That one set past Cook. Sawyer's right there, though. Throw on to first is in time to get the runner. I'm telling you, some of these throws over to first are a misadventure for Cale Ayler and company. But that's out number 2. The runner does advance to third. Yun 90 feet away in a 5-1 ball game. Here's Carter Merrill. He's 1 for 2. That one's in the dirt. Ball and no strikes. Pitch from Cook. Misses upstairs. 2-0. 75 pitches for Cameron Cook. If he can get out of this, for sure, we'll likely see another inning. 2-0. Just misses there. 3-0. Merrill 1 for 2. One of Cook's 6 strikeout victims his last time up, but he's ahead 3-0 here. Cook hums one in there for strike 1. Yun 90 feet away. Pfeiffer with some work to do, trailing 5-1. Only 4 hits for them so far this afternoon. 3-1 from Cook. Off the hands into center field. That one is going to be right to Logan Clark for out number 3. He came in to get it, and that's going to do it for the Pfeiffer 6th 5-1 ball game as we head to the home half. Ayler, Vasquez, and Miller coming to the plate. Home half of the 6th. Cale Ayler coming to the dish. Cale is 2 for 2. He's walked and singled a couple of times. 5-1 ball game. NATO's trying to add on to that as Sam Odom back out there. He came in the 3rd for Baden Gusa. Nobody up and moving in the Pfeiffer pen. We've seen movement a couple of times, but not right now, as that one high and outside. One and 0. Odom comes home. Low and away. Squirts out of the mitt of Carter Merrill. Two balls and no strikes. Cale has drawn a walk in this one. He also has a couple of knocks. Odom's 2-0. Fouled off. Ayler had the big home run yesterday afternoon. Has been a steady producer today. Swing and a miss there. Cale's least favorite pitch, that outside corner. Counts even at 2. Cale, Frankie, and Colson. As Ayler takes outside, full count. Payoff pitch from Odom. Misses. Ball 4. And for the 4th time in 4 plate appearances, Cale Ayler is aboard. 2 walks and 2 singles for number 26. And here's Frankie Vasquez. Frankie fouled out to Wilson Lohr, the first baseman, his last time. Before that, he had reached twice with a hit by pitch and a single. Frankie at the dish with Ayler standing on first and nobody out. 5-1 NATO lead in the bottom of the 6th. Frankie fouls that one out way in front of it. He knows it too, frustrated with himself. Odom, the 0-1. Wave and a miss. Vasquez not quite able to time up Odom on these first 2 pitches. No balls and 2 strikes. Ayler over there at first. Odom's delivery. Fouled off. Frankie's still way out ahead of it. He can't quite time up Sam Odom. Frankie 4 for 9 in the series. Times that one up, but just a bit early. He touched it up deep and foul. Wouldn't be surprised to see Odom try and speed Frankie up here. The 0-2. He does just that, and a wave and a miss from Vasquez. The upstairs fastball gets him. Vasquez set down on strikes. It'll bring up Colson Miller. Miller struck out swinging his last time. Before that, a hit by pitch and a sacrifice bunt. Ayler on first with 1 away. It's Miller and Granada. First pitch is a check swing. Doesn't go around. It's a ball. One and 0. Runner goes. Ayler takes off for second. Merrill's throw not in time. Cale Ayler with a good jump. He gets into scoring position. Count 1-1 here to Colson Miller after taking a strike to allow Cale Ayler to advance. 6th swiped bag for Cale Ayler, including regular season. Not a guy we see go often, but not an unathletic guy by any means. 1-1. Miller takes strike 2. You get the sense that right now Miller's pressing a little bit at the plate here in this tournament, trying to continue what he has done and flash the power. He's gotten under some pitches. He's behind 1-2 here. Odom fires. Misses. That one upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Cale Ayler in scoring position at second in a 5-1 ball game here. Bottom 6 from Gil Cone Field. The 2-2. Inside. Count runs full. On deck is Lucas Granada, who has homered. It was a 3-run shot back in the 3rd. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Miller set down on strikes for the 2nd straight AB. 2nd straight strikeout for Odom after getting Vasquez. And it'll be up to Lucas Granada, who's driven in 3 to drive in 1 more. Ayler still standing over there on second as Granada comes up. Lucas 1 for 3, a home run sandwich between 2 flyouts. And he takes ball 1. 4 Ks for Odom out of the pen. Baden Gusev, the Pfeiffer starter, had none. The 1-0. Odom decides to wheel around to second and keep an eye on Cale Ayler. The 1-0. High and tight to Granada. 2 balls and no strikes. Odom fires home. Granada on the ground over to third. Javier has it. The long throw is picked by Laurer. A nice defensive play there. Keeps the NATOs off the board in the 6th. They lead at 5-1. We head to inning number 7. Cameron Cook likely headed back out for another inning of work. Top of the 7th here at Gil Cone Field. CJ Acosta into pinch hit for Thomas Ashby. First pitch he sees, he fouls off. Cameron Cook back out there, inning number 7 of work. His career high in innings is 7. That was back his sophomore year here against Maryville. Acosta, a 254 hitter. He takes the ball there. 875 OPS for him, 4 home runs in the regular season, but we have not seen him in this series, in this tournament, up to this point against the NATOs. Cook fires way outside there, 2-1. Lackey, a 411 slugging, 399 on base. 33 base knocks on the year. Now the 2-1. On the inside corner, a good pitch there from Cook, 2-2. Acosta trying to get something going here out of that 8-hole in place of Thomas Ashby, who struck out twice. The 2-2. Misses low. Count runs full to the left-handed hitting Acosta. Cook, the payoff pitch. In the air, deep right field. Pile, back, and he will have room on the track. Just in front of the wall. Acosta got a good piece of that one. But Gil Conefield is able to hold it in. Out number 1.
Now batting right fielder number 10, Robbie Brown.
One away for Robbie Brown, who has been a strikeout victim twice at the hands of Cook, and this time he's going to get drilled. Don't think that felt good. You see the aggressive bat toss over towards the dugout. He'll be all right, though. Hit by pitch with 1 away for Cook, and it turns the lineup back over to Zach Farrell.
Now batting left fielder number 6, Zach Farrell.
Farrell 1 for 3. He doubled in the 5th. Now Andy Farringer and Blake Altshuler both getting warmed in the pen. First pitch from Cook is low and inside here to Farrell. Ball and no strikes here. Righty Cook deals. Farrell fouls it off. Bit late there, sending it down the left side. Cook, 1-1. Fouled off. One and 2. 1 away. Cook fires. Just misses the outside corner. The NATO dugout wanted it. Farrell stays alive, 2-2. Pitch number 90 coming up. Got to imagine Cameron Cook is closing in on his final few hitters, even with a 5-1 lead. 2-2. Lasered, but way out ahead of it there. Farrell absolutely smoked that one, but over towards Ives Lamel Family Field. If you're not familiar with the NATO campus locations, you're very confused on what I mean when I say directionally where that went. Cook, another 2-2 coming. Here it is. Poking at it. Farrell gets it by Frankie Vasquez down the third base line. Granada comes up. He's not going to have a play at third. Brown gets in. It's a 1-out double for Zach Farrell. Second 2-bagger of this game for Farrell. And it brings up Wilson Lohr with 1 away and 2 in scoring position.
Now batting first baseman number 28, Wilson Lohr.
Lohr has singled both of his last 2 trips. The last one was an RBI single in the 5th. So far, that's the only run driven in by Pfeiffer. But they're threatening here. Chance for more. Trailing by 4 runs in the 7th. Cook misses outside. Cameron Cook at 92 pitches. 59 strikes. The 1-0. Lohr sends it on the ground. Sawyer, nice backhanded pick. Bobbles it, gets it over to first for out number 2. A run comes across to score. It's 5-2. Farrell gets up to third. That was a nice play there by Logan Sawyer to avoid 2 runs coming in. Here's Austin Wood. He's 0 for 3. Has reached on a pair of errors and flied out to left. Two away. That one misses. Seventh inning here at Gilcone Field. Starting to get a little bit more cloudy overhead. 1-0. Tails to the outside and cuts the corner 1-1. And that was, for a lot of folks curious, that the reason that the first pitch time was 9 a.m. is impending weather here in Brevard. That one's fouled off, 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 away here. Cook trying to set down Wood. Misses upstairs. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Top 7. Cook comes home, swing and a miss. Cook gets him on strikes. 1 run comes across for the Falcons, and that's it. Cook is through 7. It's 5-2 here at Gilcone Field. NATO's leading it. Time to stretch. Bottom of the 7th here at Gilcone Field. Kenny Pridmore stepping to the dish. NATO's not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, leading it by 3, 5-2. But getting closer to punching a ticket to the championship game. Championship series, correction, as that one's in there for a strike from Odom. So is that one, 0-2. Odom making quick work here. 75 pitches for Sam Odom out of the bullpen. That one's fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes here to the NATO backstop. One sent in the air, foul ground, and no one's going to have a play on it. 0-2 here to Pridmore. Kenny singled a couple of times. A 5-3 ground out in between those two. Odom, the 0-2. Tapper, back to the mound. Odom will toss on to first. Lohr squeezes it for out number 1. 1-3 put out to get the bottom of the 7th going.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, second baseman number 9, Logan Sawyer.
Here's Logan Sawyer. Sawyer 2 for 2. He has a sacrifice bunt and then 2 singles. One of them a bunt single back in the 5th. Sawyer has done some really good work at second base defensively especially, but he has done a really good job in that 9-hole in the lineup too. He's behind 0-1 here. Pitch from Odom, sent over to first. Lohr is able to grab it, take it to the bag himself for out number 2. The 7th inning will rest on the shoulders of C.P. Pyle.
Tornadoes, right fielder number 49, C.P. Pyle.
Take a look at Cameron Cook's pitch count. He's at 98, so seems moderately unlikely that we see Cook again. And if that is the end of the line for him, he finishes at 7 innings, 5 hits, and 2 runs. Here's Pyle. He takes a strike. Altshuler and Farringer both still warming in that pen. Odom, the 0-1. Misses 1-1. Odom misses outside, 2-1. Chance Hunt up in the Pfeiffer bullpen now. Number 30, a right-hander. Hitters count here to Pyle with 2 away and nobody on. He takes a ball, 3-1. CP walked back in the 3rd. Chance to get put on again here. That one's fouled off. Count runs full for Pyle. Payoff pitch. Ball 4. CP Pyle draws a 2-out walk. That's his 2nd of the ball game. It'll bring up Luke Morton. Morty, a couple of base knocks in this one. He's 2 for 4. Most recently, a single in the 5th. Look back over at first by Odom. That one misses ball. Odom sitting at 87 pitches out of the bullpen. Only had 1 start in 17 appearances. This has essentially been a start for him where he came in after 2 1/3 from Baden Gusa. This one stroked in the air to center field, but right to Thomas Ashby, who makes the catch for out number 3. The Tornadoes get a 2-out walk, but don't do anything with it. They lead at 5-2 as we head to the 8th. Here at Gil Cone Field, NATO's 6 outs away from a spot in the championship round. Top of the 8th, new pitcher in for the NATOs. It's Andy Farringer. For Farringer, 15 appearances for him in the regular season. First time we've seen him in the tournament. Andy was 3-1, 15 strikeouts, 11 walks, a 5.73 ERA. One of the more effective Tornado relievers, and much as the story is for a lot of Tornado relief arms, not a velocity guy by any stretch, not going to overpower a whole lot of hitters, but relies on location and precision. He faces off against Juwan Yun here and misses outside for ball 1. Got to imagine you still see Altshuler in the pen warming up. You got to think that they want to keep Altshuler fresh as long as they can, but if Farringer runs into any kind of trouble with this 3-run lead, you will see Blake Altshuler come in. 1-0 here to Yun. In there for strike 1. Yun, Lackey, and Javier, 4, 5, and 6 hitters up here in the 8th. 5-2 ball game. Righty Farringer comes home, and he's going to hit him. Yun reaches on a hit by pitch, and the leadoff man's aboard for the Falcons. Here's Corey Lackey. Lackey's 0 for 3, and against the Tornadoes as a whole, he's only 1 for 8. Cameron Cook twirled an absolute gem. Now Andy Farringer's in for him and throws strike 1 to Lackey. No balls and a strike. Farringer, a throw over to first. Ayler can't get the tag down in time. Yun in safely. Do have 2 arms up in that NATO pen. It looks like possibly might just be Altshuler, though, on second glance. Some stretching behind him, though, as that one's sent into the left center field gap. Yun is going to try for third. The throw is going to be into second by Clark. A smart move. Juwan Yun over to third. Runners on the corners with nobody out after Lackey singles. Joe Javier going to step into the box now. With nobody out and runners on the corners, he represents the game-tying run here in a 5-2 contest. You do see Blake Altshuler continuing to throw and get loose in that NATO pen, as well as what looks like Ethan Coleman. And it is. So a NATO starter and the closer both up as Farringer with another hit by pitch. Victory's going to come out here, and not sure if he'll get pulled here or not, but did say that we think it's a short leash for Farringer. Now the go-ahead run stepping to the plate with nobody out. A hit by pitch, a single, and then another hit by pitch. Have the bases loaded with nobody gone. It looks like it is going to be Blake Altshuler. That might be the end of the line for Farringer. It will be. Altshuler is going to come in and try to clean up the mess that Farringer has caused in a 5-2 ball game. The bases are loaded with nobody out. More on the righty when we return. New pitcher for the NATOs is Blake Altshuler. He's going to come in with the bases loaded and nobody out. Blake, a unfamiliar role for him coming out of the pen The freshman had 12 appearances, and all of them were starts. Went 4-2 on the year. An ERA of 5.25 in his freshman season. He did see this Pfeiffer lineup before, and they did touch him up a little bit. A start of 4 innings where he allowed 10 hits and 5 runs in that third game at Pfeiffer, a game that saw the Tornadoes lose. They took the first 2 and then lost game 3. But Blake's going to try and pick up the pieces here. Andy Farringer comes in out of the pen to relieve Cameron Cook. Does not record an out, 2 hit by pitches and a single, and that has us where we are right now. Bases are loaded for the bottom 3 in the Pfeiffer order. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Merrill as well. Connor Welker, who we saw pinch hit yesterday. Will be the man coming to the box. Welker tried to bunt for a hit in his pinch hit appearance yesterday afternoon. It did not work. That was the only time that we've seen him in these 2 games up until this point. He comes in a big spot. Both competitors on the mound and in the box. Both new challengers here in this one. In the top of the 8th, Altshuler in on the mound. Welker in at the plate. Bases loaded and nobody out. Corners playing in. That one sent in the air. Right field should be deep enough to score. Pyle tries to get enough underneath it to put a throw. And no, it won't be deep enough to score. Young's not even going to try it. Did not account for the runner on third, who is a bigger body. And clearly with nobody out, Pfeiffer didn't want to test their luck with the game possibly hanging in the balance. Here's C.J. Acosta, who came in as a pinch hitter last inning. He flew out to right field, similar to Welker just a moment ago. He's up with the bases loaded and 2 away. Corner still playing in. Middle infield at double play depth. First pitch from Altshuler's in for a strike to Acosta. Obviously big for Altshuler to get that first out against the first batter he sees. The 0-1. Sent in the air and foul ground. No one will have a beat on that. No balls, 2 strikes. Altshuler trying to put away C.J. Acosta. Robbie Brown, the 9-hole hitter, on deck. Bases are loaded with 1 away. Altshuler ahead here, 0-2. The righty fires. Misses high and outside. Juwan Yun over at third. Corey Lackey at second with Joe Javier standing at first. Ball and 2 strikes. Altshuler still in the driver's seat against the lefty Acosta. The pitch is going to bounce in the dirt. Nearly hit Acosta in the foot. Now the home plate umpire gives Blake Altshuler a new baseball before he heads back over to the mound. Good stop by Kenny Pridmore. The count's even at 2 with 1 away. Altshuler with a 2-2 count. Kicks and fires. That one in the air. Center field. Clark back on it. He's got it for out number 2. He will throw to third. The runner, Lackey, gets in there. A run does come across on the sacrifice fly. Juwan Yun. It's 5-3. So runners on the edges here for Pfeiffer. First and third with Robbie Brown stepping into the box, and this is the guy you want to take care of, the 9-hole hitter, Robbie Brown. He's 0-2. A pair of strikeouts and a hit by pitch. You don't want this to get back to Zach Farrell. Arguably the most dangerous hitter in this lineup, and he looms on deck. With 2 away, the pitch from Altshuler. Misses for ball 1. Just a bit high, it seems. Javier on first, Lackey at third. Right-handed freshman Altshuler in the biggest spot to this point in his college career. He misses in the dirt there, 2-0. 5-3 ball game in the top of the 8th. You knew in postseason action it was never going to be easy for the Tornadoes. 2-0. Excuse me, swing off the hands. It's going to be a tough play for Sawyer, who scoops it out of his glove to first and makes the play. Robbie Brown falls through the bag, slams his helmet in frustration. Logan Sawyer realized that was a slow roller, and the only chance he had was to scoop it out of his glove to first. He did just that. Cale Ayler received it in time, and that will do it for Pfeiffer in the 8th. They push another run across. It's 5-3, but Blake Altshuler comes in and does a job on the mound. NATO's holding a 2-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, hopefully the last time we see this Tornado offense at Gilcone Field this season, holding a 5-3 lead.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, center fielder number 15, Logan.
Odom still out on the mound with 88 pitches. We'll see what kind of hook he has. Trailing by 2 as Logan Clark comes in and fouls off the first pitch he sees. Clark, Ayler, and Vasquez, the heart of the order here. Logan's 0 for 4. He was 0 for 4 in game 2 yesterday, 2 for 4 in the first game. 2 for 12 total throughout the tournament. That one off the hands over towards the Pfeiffer dugout, and it's 0-2. The 0-2. Sent up the middle by Clark, a base hit. Logan Clark takes a wide turnaround first just to test out Zach Farrell in center. Did forget to note that change last inning. Zach Farrell shifted over to center. CJ Acosta moved to left. Former center fielder Thomas Ashby out after Acosta pinch hit for him in the 7th. Leadoff single here in the 8th for Logan Clark. Puts him aboard for Cale Ayler. Cale yet to be retired in this one. 2 walks bookending 2 singles as Cale shows bunt and pulls back. I want a ball. New catcher in as well. Josh Turner behind the dish. That one misses outside, 2-0. Turner in after Carter Merrill, the starting catcher, was pinch hit for Connor Welker. Welker came in and flew out. Now Turner behind the plate as Logan Clark is nearly picked off. Odom thought he had him, and by the thinnest of margins, Clark is in there safely. You see Coach Carone come up and say something to him. I have to imagine it was something along the lines of, don't do that again. They immediately test him again. Odom, a throw over to first. Clark paying closer attention that time. Ayler takes 3-0. And you assume that Blake Altshuler will be the man on the mound in the 9th for the NATOs, regardless of what they do here offensively, leading by 2. But they do have a chance to add some insurance here. 3-0 count to Ayler with Clark on first and nobody down. 4-pitch walk. Ayler has walked 3 times in this one, a couple of singles as well. He's reached base all 5 plate appearances. And again, in a big spot, this walk-up music for Frankie Vasquez has got to be pretty daunting. If you're the pitcher, something about that Hispanic vibe out there, the tune of Frankie Vasquez, Suavemente. It's like the Edwin Diaz trumpets for a batter. Frankie, before he stepped to the plate, did have Coach Victory with an arm around his shoulder, giving him specific instructions or encouragement on whatever he would like to see here. Pitch number 95 coming here from Odom. Frankie sends it on the ground to third. On the bag, Javier for 1. Throw on to first is in time, and Frankie Vasquez hits into a killer double play there. Vasquez, not his greatest performance. 5-3 double play, and now pinch hitter is going to come in for Colson Miller, who has been struggling. He struck out each of his last 2 at-bats. It's Easton King, who we saw pinch hit at the end of the Methodist game at the start of the tournament Thursday afternoon. Two away after the double play. Cale Ayler still standing there in scoring position. He got stranded at second once earlier. King going to try and do a job here. The relatively inexperienced freshman. First pitch to King. Fouled back. That's just really tough if you're Frankie Vasquez. He went after the first pitch from Odom, whose pitch count was running up, who had just walked Cale Ayler, and it did not pay off, that aggressiveness. And a couple of times we saw Frankie, including on that double play against Odom, was just too early and couldn't wait back on what Odom was dealing. 0-1 to King. Popped up left side out of play. King behind 0-2 here. Tough spot to be in. A freshman that has not seen a whole lot of playing time outside of games like Bob Jones, a couple of non-conference ABs, but not a whole lot of consistent playing time here as a freshman. He's in for Colson Miller, though, behind 0-2 with 2 down and Cale Ayler on second. The pitch from the righty. Swing and a miss. King set down on strikes, and that's going to send us to the 9th. King down on strikes, and the NATOs going to try and punch their ticket to the championship round here. Blake Altshuler trying to get 3 more outs for the NATOs, leading at 5-3. Five-3 ball game here at Gilcone Field as we enter inning number 9. NATOs are going to have to earn it. It's the top of the order for the Pfeiffer Falcons, trailing by 2, starting with Zach Farrell, who has doubled each of his last 2 at-bats in the 5th and the 7th. He comes up here in the 9th, looking to cause some more damage. It's Blake Altshuler back out after recording 3 outs in the 8th. He misses high and outside to start off the AB. Andy Farringer came in the 8th, did not record an out, 2 hit batsmen and a single. Blake Altshuler came in and recorded all 3 outs for him. He drops a breaker in there for strike 1. So Farringer didn't record an out, gave up a hit and a run. Altshuler so far through an inning. The 1-1 fouled back. NATO's 3 outs away from clinching their spot in the championship round for the first time in NCAA era history. Ethan Coleman up in the pen, the de facto Tornado closer, but Altshuler's going to get every opportunity here as he misses 2-2. Blake Altshuler, a freshman, we were just talking about it during the break, he couldn't have imagined that he would be the guy on the mound in the 9th trying to send the NATOs to the championship when he was getting recruited. That one just misses, nearly did freeze Farrell, but it didn't cost him. Count is full. Right-handed Altshuler. Going to try and come back here with a payoff pitch. He winds and deals. That one smoked in the air to right field. Pyle is going to make a diving catch. CP Pyle, what a play. A web gem in right for out number 1. What a play by CP Pyle. He got a great jump on it. He had to get on his horse. He's a quick guy. That ball was absolutely smoked. It was dropping fast, and Pyle had to extend to grab that and did. Out number 1, and here's Wilson Laurer. He's 2 for 4. Altshuler gets a big out number 1 there on what could have been extra bases. Laurer fouls the first pitch back. What a play. And if the NATOs can hang on for these final 2 outs, certainly one that we will remember from this one. Altshuler gives the 0-1 to Pridmore. It's on the ground for a base hit, a single up the middle for Laurer. His 3rd base hit of this one. And Laurer has hit the ball well against the Tornadoes. He's 6 for 10 in these 2 games that Pfeiffer has faced off against Brevard. A tying run coming to the plate now in the form of Austin Wood. Wood yet to record a hit. He's 0 for 4. He reached twice on an error and then flied out and struck out to end the 7th. That one's in there for a strike. If Altshuler could get a double play ball, it would send the NATOs to the championship round in Rocky Mount, North Carolina against number 1 seeded North Carolina Wesley, and the 2-seeded NATOs trying to get the job done here. A check swing, that's strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes, 1 away here. And a man on first, it's Laurer, the 0-2. Got him looking, strike 3. Wood sat down on strikes for the 2nd time in this one, and Pfeiffer's down to their last out. It'll be Jawan Yun. He's reached on an error and has been hit by a pitch. The NATOs are an out away. NATOs are an out away from the championship round. Jawan Yun at the plate, and he takes ball 1 from Blake Altshuler. NATO's an out away from a moment that feels like it's been in the works for a couple of years from Mike Victory and company. Still would have to win a couple more ball games to be champs against a really good team, but trying to make it to that stage here for the first time. 2 balls and no strikes to Jawan Yun after that one misses low and outside. Tornadoes trying to punch their ticket to the championship round of the USA South Tournament. Altshuler misses low and away again. 3-0 here to Yun. Corey Lackey on deck. He's 1 for 4. Tying run at the plate in Yun. Altshuler, the righty, See what he comes with here behind 3-0. That one's in there for strike one. NATO's got the fantastic diving catch from CP Pyle to rob Zach Farrell of extra bases, route number one. Then the single from Laurer, and just a moment ago, the strikeout looking of Austin Wood. Yun still ahead 3-1, and he takes strike two. The NATO's are a strike away from the USA South Championship round. Jawan Yun in a full count now. Altshuler trying to slam the door and send the NATO's to Rocky Mount. The righty. A payoff pitch. Got him looking, strike three, and the Tornadoes are heading to the USA South Championship round. Blake Altshuler comes in and gets a 2-inning save, and the NATOs win it 5-3. They are heading to the championship round for the first time in program history in the NCAA era. Jawan Yun strikes out looking to end it. Blake Altshuler comes in to shut the door. CP Pyle with a fantastic play to get the ninth inning started. Mike Victory and company are headed to Rocky Mount, North Carolina for the championship round of the USA South Tournament. Number one against number two will face off next weekend. North Carolina Wesleyan against Brevard. The NATOs faced a lot of adversity here in this tournament. They lost game one to Methodist 9-3. They were losing yesterday 1-0. Couldn't muster any offense through 4 innings. Took a lead, held on to a late lead and won 6-4 against Pfeiffer, setting up a winner-take-all decisive game against the Falcons here at Gil Cone Field. They got on the board early on in the first. They got a 3-run blast from Lucas Granada in the third, and ultimately a 5-3 victory. The tying run came to the plate for Pfeiffer at the end, but Blake Altshuler shuts the door, and the NATOs are headed to Rocky Mount, North Carolina for the championship round. 5-3, the final. NATOs 5 runs, 12 hits, 4 errors. Wesleyan 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. And how sweet it must feel. Job clearly not finished for Mike Victory and company, but it's got to feel really good to get to this spot. A celebration is in order for the NATOs before next weekend. I just want to talk about the starting pitching really quickly. Cameron Cook today, absolutely phenomenal. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 7 strikeouts. Blake Altshuler comes in and pitches the final 2 innings, gives up 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. On the Pfeiffer side of things, Gusa started this one, went 2 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, and 1 walk. Odom, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. He finished this one out from the pen, and it was not enough. 3 runs coming off the bat of Lucas Granada with a home run. The NATOs, a 5-3 victory. They are headed to the championship round. What an exciting feeling for the NATOs. That 3-run homer by Lucas Granada, ultimately the difference. You see the guys down there celebrating near that third base line, and just got to say what an awesome ride it has been calling Tornado baseball. In about a week, while the NATOs are in Rocky Mount, I will be walking across the stage here at Brevard College. This is my last game calling Tornado baseball, and the NATOs rewarded me with a championship round clinching victory. Just want to give a thank you really quickly to everybody, Phil DeMontmollin, Joseph Marvin, the whole crew, for allowing me to call Tornado baseball the last 3 years, and they're not done. But a 5-3 exhilarating victory. They've clinched their spot in the championship round. Cameron Cook, Jacob Thompson, 2 huge starts over the last 24 hours against Pfeiffer. As a result, the NATOs on their way to championship weekend. That's going to wrap it up here. We're headed down to the field for a celebration. The NATOs win it 5-3 here. They're on to the championship. I am Brady Penn. Until next time, signing off saying, let's go NATOs.